Guess what? Perfect question, Phil. I don't know what I'm doing on so early. I don't know. I thought it was by popular request or demand or absolute insanity, or it's probably because some guy up in New York couldn't figure it out that the whole world does not need an extra amount of time with this guy from Texas. So he said, screw it, we'll put it in there for the extra amount of time and we'll see if he catches it. Oh yeah, I caught it. Proof that I actually read the Breyer Report on a regular basis. I actually read the Breyer Report not just for the pictures. Not just for the interesting articles. Sometimes just to remind my dumbass what time I'm supposed to be on. Or, as I like to say to Phil, sometimes it's just to see if I actually still am up there. Did I die? Did nobody tell me I died? It's fine. I'll live. Romeo y Julieta, 1875. Smells like cigar. Damn fine cigar it is too. Alright, Amazon could be coming here. It might be going next door. Not sure. It's our regular driver. Petite female of African American persuasion. I sometimes wonder why they got a girl that small driving for Amazon, because I'm sorry, but you get like a 250-pound object, she ain't making it. Hell, I'm barely making it if it's 250 pounds. I mean, I'll muscle the hell out of it. I'll get it there. I didn't say it wasn't going to take everything I got to get it up there. Some of these people, they don't look like they could lift a 50-pound sack of concrete, much less some of the stuff that might be coming in the mail. Hey, what do I know? Let's be honest though, there is nothing wrong with being female, being petite, and being a driver of a truck. I'm just worried about her ability to actually get a hold of some of this stuff that might be showing up and actually getting it from the truck up a curb, up a sidewalk, onto somebody's front porch. And a lot of these front porches right here in this area have 2 or 3 steps right there at the very end, so it's not like it's just the easiest thing for a guy that's football player size to do. It might actually take quite a bit of effort.
What miracles cease to happen?
Miracles that cease to happen. My mother-in-law will never cease coming out the front door knowing full well that everybody out here is smoking and she has asthma and hates the smell of smoke. Howdy there, Odie. Good to have you on board, sir. How you doing today? How was bourbon hunting? I know I'm down here in Texas taking away your job, though. What do you mean now? What? I'm being honest. My mother-in-law has asthma, complains about the smell of cigars or pipe smoke. Constantly I hear about it. She would prefer that I only smoke somewhere within 3 centimeters of the center of the street. But if I light something up, she's going to come out the door somehow, some way. It's like by magic. She just has to smell that stuff so that she can then again gripe at me for smoking a pipe or cigar. Because it smells like a pipe or cigar. Here I thought it was mother-in-law repellent. And it just doesn't work anymore. Stacking bottles as always. Well, that's always a good thing. It's the rare character that knows quite a bit more about bourbon than I do, and is not a brewmaster or a master distiller. I think Odie might know a little bit more. Got a belt sander there, Phil? You offering? Signal Man Tony, howdy sir, howdy sir. Great to see you on board today. How you doing, sir? By the way, I had to look up Humza. Humza. No clue who this cat was. I'm doing quite well there, Tony. Thank you for asking. Wait, you're choking to death because I had to look up Humza? Oh yeah, I had to look up Humza. Humza. Somebody put a stupid guy on one of those I broke my foot scooters. You know what I'm talking about. It's got 2 wheels up front, 2 wheels in the back. You're supposed to put your bad leg on the scooter and you scoot down the hall. Except for this guy got really going with it and he kicked that front leg out in front of one of the wheels and ended up power slamming into the ground. I mean, it was a full-on face dive right in there. Ugh. Then I found out he's some sort of health authority for Scotland. And there's a lot of people out there that hate him. Past that, I don't know who he is. That's going to be my total speak of politics today. I had to look up Humza. Yeah, I've heard that there are some candles out there that will release some sort of an oil that, when mixed with the heat of the flame, creates enough scent that it takes away all the cigar smoke and pipe smoke and cigarette smoke. You're adding smoke on top of smoke, so I'm not really sure it's going to work that way. But okay. Howdy, Scott. Glad to have you in there. And Huva Ilta, Boris. Jamut. Now, some people swear by that stuff. Burley Nut Bob, howdy, sir. So some people swear. Steph, howdy, ma'am. Great to see you alive and well. Are you at least 6 feet above ground? Or at least above ground, not 6 feet below. Yeah, I have found that there is some product out there called Whiff, Whiff, that works. I used to sell it to guys who did not want to go back to their office smelling like they have been hanging out all lunchtime during their lunch at a cigar bar. Howdy, Chad. Great to see you there, sir. Chad, you are back by popular demand, and you are very popular, sir. We appreciate you showing up. Howdy, Skip. Great to have you on board as well. Look at there, getting a full house today. Except for none of the Saggets or any of those other people that had to act like fools just because they got somewhat famous. Don't worry, I'll take care of all the foolishness. So real quick, before we get going, and for whatever reason I forget, there has been a slight change to programming timing for Saturday. Steph and Skip are going to be on a little bit earlier than normal. And the guy that we might have seen last night and his lovely wife, who were blowing some smoke rings. Y'all might know them as Flat Cap and Lady Fire, are talking about doing the tailgate with actual sports talk. Which sounds like fun to me. I'm going to say it. I'd watch synchronized knitting if I could figure out how to score the damn thing. But it's not a sport, so they don't really have a score, so I don't watch it. Wonder if they'll be giving out the cricket scores. It's possible. I bet you if you show up and give them a thrill there, Phil, they will figure out that they need to be all over those cricket scores. Boris, there's something that we will always agree on. Just today I saw this thing that had, it was a Twitter poll, and they were saying, who is the GOAT? Stands for greatest of all time. And it says, or it gives 4 choices here. And it says Muhammad Ali, and Michael Jordan, I forgot the third one already, and I'm sorry about that. If anybody has seen this tweet, y'all can correct me if you want to. It's fine. But it was Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, Serena Williams. There was somebody else on there. Which, I had to say, you know what? It was an impressive list if you only wanted to list 4. But then no, I don't believe that Sir Don Bradman actually made that list. He might have, should have though. But I was like, man, that's a nice list, but y'all forgot about, and I listed off about 20 different people. Now, Skip, I'm going to kind of agree with you there. Serena Williams has been so dominant in her sport, and it is still not realistically talked about on the level of greatness that she has actually obtained. Nope, I don't think Bill Brasky was there. But they didn't have Wayne Gretzky either. How can you have greatest of all time and not have Wayne Gretzky? Michael Phelps. Earl Anthony. Carlos Hathcock. There's some names that I had to look up because I still don't know how to pronounce them correctly, and spelling them was a little bit difficult. Team New Zealand in sailing. Well, Boris, I don't have the loudest crickets. I have the most cicadas. And they're way louder than crickets. Phil, I put Secretariat on my list, but I also put Hidalgo. And as long as we're going racing, you kind of have to throw in John Force and Mario Andretti. True though, since 1973, nobody has even come close to touching the records set up by Secretariat. Big Red was a beast. And I didn't even list NASCAR people, which there's a kind of a three-way tie if you went NASCAR. We can be honest about that. That'd be Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt Sr., and of course Jimmy Johnson. I think his name's Jimmy Johnson. He really didn't start winning though until they came up with the car of tomorrow and it stopped being stock car racing, which is about when I stopped watching it, when it started becoming, you can't buy this car. This is a set-up body that we make everybody run with. Oh, come on. Dodge is going to be louder than that. My Dodge is. Just saying. Skip, I think Dale Earnhardt honestly was the best because he won no matter what and did things that nobody's ever going to do again. There's a certain Talladega race where he won after being a lap down. Brought it back from sure he was going to be done, still won it. Steph's cooking dinner. NASCAR is the ones where the wheels are inside of the basic sheet metal of the car, yeah. Skip, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great drivers in NASCAR, but if you're only talking greatest of all time, now let's be honest here. Dodge set out to make sure that Richard Petty won. They started chunking engines that were unavailable in any way, shape, or form to the average general public. 800 cubic inches is nothing. Let's go for 1,000. I mean, they were doing crazy, stupid things to make sure that Richard Petty stayed way out in front. Oh, we could go with wrestlers. I mean, I'm not going to, because as I have come to see through my own years of being, well, a hellion, a lot of that professional wrestling shit is fake. If you want real wrestling, you gotta wait for the Olympics or college. That's right, Boris. Your dad was a stock car racer. Yeah. Now, Boris, I'm fairly certain you even recognize the name Mario Andretti because of your love for open wheel driving that most of the people in Finland tend to enjoy. That name carries a certain amount of weight. David Pearson and Cale Yarbrough, yeah, there's some argument there. Very, very strong. Come on, Bill. You just have to ask yourself, is the people in the WWE a part of the sports, or is it a part of an actors guild? And once you know that it's a part of an actors guild, then you know that it's already decided and fake. It is too bad, Boris, that stock car racing was banned. It actually, there is a good reason why NASCAR still gets a lot of money from its major sponsors. Goodyear is one of them. Sunoco is another one. Goodyear tests out their tires. The same ones that they're going to be putting on your luxury car or your truck or your motorcycle or whatever else. They formulate these tires and then they put them out there and then they want to see how well it does. But before that it goes to the public. And there's a certain amount of math and engineering that goes along with. You can run these cars at this level and it'll do this, and this is what happens to the material. And now we know, hey, yes, this will actually be a good tire to continue to produce. This formulation works well. It has a good run time. And then they can come up with that idea that, oh, hey, this is not going to work at all. These things shred too fast. Yeah, we can't keep doing that. We can't do this for a regular average Joe passenger car. They'll be killing each other. And, well, you know, Sunoco is, they're doing a lot of testing on, hey, what actually happens inside the engines on these fuels. Does this additive work better than this additive? And then they'll put it in there. Howdy, Steve. Uh-oh, Steve used to run with Lawler. Damn it. What tells me not to disagree with Steve on this issue? Maybe it's because he'll probably strap my ass to a bull and say, "Hold on, Buttercup." Dirt racing is fun. There's a lot of good dirt racers out there. But anyways, yes, like I was saying, if you're going to start talking about greatest of all time and you're only going to give a choice of 4, shouldn't it just be the 4 from the exact same sport? Instead of 4 from... Oh, I remember who the 4th one was now. Tom Brady. No wonder I forgot who he was. Real quick, I'll explain Tom Brady's greatness as quickly as possible. When Tagliabue was going to retire, and he announced that he was going to retire, all the owners kind of got together and scratched their head and couldn't come up with a consensus of this person or that person to be the next commissioner. Well, Goodell was one of the NFL commission lawyers at the time. He's making like $100,000 a year. It's pretty good, sure. And Robert Kraft brought him forward from that position and put him out there in front of everybody and said, "This is who we ought to take." And everybody else just basically said, "Well, sure, okay, whatever. Let's do that." Suddenly, afterwards, calls from the refs all kind of went in the way of the Patriots. Well, who owns the Patriots? Well, that'd be Kraft. And I mean, it got ridiculous. But anytime that Belichick and Kraft got together and said, "Hey, we've got an issue, we kind of need to talk about this," they would go to Goodell, and somehow it would just always work out. Well, Lord knows the Bodacious is definitely one of the greatest athletes of all time. Is what it is. Come on, don't go with Terry Hogan. If it wasn't for the fact that the Iron Sheik was the world heavyweight title holder at the time when they were trying to come up with someone new, Terry Hogan never would have been chosen. Might as well go with George the Animal Steel. I did say I'm a sports fanatic. I've said it many times. is what it is. No big deal. Hey, looky there. We burned up the first 35 minutes of this show with nothing to show for it. Talking crap. And like I said, I had to look up Humza today. Humza. Guy that doesn't know how to use a push scooter. Past that, I don't know nothing about him. Though, if y'all like to talk smack about somebody, y'all go right ahead. That guy is probably open season right now. Seems like the Scottish people are loving picking on him. Except for that one lady that is running the newspaper in Scotland. She is not loving that people are picking on Humza. Humza Yousaf. I don't know enough about him to tell you shit from Shinola for that guy. It's just the truth of it. I did see, though, where Biden said that they're going to go after bad actors. Because somehow the gas prices are still going up, even though they seem to have knowledge that the gas prices should be falling. But let's remind ourselves that when you shut down all of the pipeline jobs right at the very beginning, and then you reset up a whole lot of the things that go directly against the companies that are making petroleum products, then they pass on those expenses to the customer, one way or the other. And quite honestly, these big companies out there that are making gasoline, most of what we are paying for a gallon of gas is taxes. Exxon makes about 1/4, so 25 cents, down to a nickel per gallon. The rest of it is all taxes. Oh, hey, you know what? There was a guy whose last name is Rose who should have been on that list. And you know what? They didn't have him on there either. And a guy whose last name is Ryan. He should have been on that list. Yeah, that guy wasn't on there either. And had he stayed healthy, there was a guy named Bo Jackson. He should have been on that list. If you want to say greatest human athlete of all time, and Bo Jackson is not somewhere on your list, you are probably overlooking some people. A lame game is on tonight. I heard that the Giants are playing. That was enough for me to not expect very much out of the NFL. And Odie, you're right. I don't think that very many people would have enough strength in their whole body, even with Andre helping, in getting Andre up off the ground enough to make that slam look believable. But if you watch the footage, Andre helped. That was not all Terry Hulk Hogan. Honestly, Mr. Ryan, I am not sure where he lives, but he used to live in Alvin. And Alvin is walking distance from here. I could be inside Alvin city limits in just an hour of a decent walk. Not pushing it, just an hour. That's nothing. That's right, Steve. These gas stations, they don't make shit off of the gas. They make their money off of other things. Scott, I believe you're correct. I heard that he had pulled something in his back. And it was 3 or 4 months before he was even on camera again. Mostly because every time he would stand or move or flex or anything, it was that wince that everybody knows says, oh crap, I'm in pain. Hey, I can believe it. Andre the Giant was full on 500 plus pounds, so just saying. Well, that's pretty interesting there, Phil, that a guy you work with is from Friendswood. You could tell that guy that there's another guy from Friendswood, technically, that's willing to wave at him on a regular basis. Live streams right here. Of course, I also wave at the mailman. Obviously, he watched a Monday Night Football game. Oh, yeah. Gordie Howe? How long did he play hockey? Like, good God. 5 decades worth? 50 years worth he played professionally? Or something like, or parts of 5 decades? It's ridiculous. His longevity is ridiculous. It's not hard to be impressed by Serena. And remember, the girls that she's beating are technically considered in their prime. Somewhere between 18 and 25. She's 40 plus now. That means she's been in her prime longer than most of these girls will even have a career. True, Odie. I mean, no big deal. I watched wrestling back in the day, though we kind of called it wrestling here. Oh, yeah. You know who else was not on that list? Rocky Marciano. Rocky Marciano, who was, in my opinion, now this is just an opinion, but I believe he was greater than Tyson. And if you look at the win-loss record, that plays out. Well, I know that Gordie Howe was in his 60s as an IHL player here in Houston. He and his 3 sons played for the Arrows, which was a farm team for Minnesota. But then Minnesota decided to move out of Houston, so we don't have good hockey here in Houston anymore. Odie is actually really nice today. Once I finally got to stop working in the heat. $69, you think? Look, I wouldn't disagree with it. There's a reason why Gordie Howe was called Mr. Hockey. But you got to remember, Wayne Gretzky was the great one. And he was the great one way before anybody else started saying, oh, this person's the GOAT about this, that, the other. But if you look at now, here's one stat that we can look at that puts Gretzky on a different plane than just about anybody else. Real easy. Name off everybody that has scored 200 points in a season. Yep, you're going to have one name. Wayne Gretzky. Remy Lemieux had 199 once. Howdy, hard crackers. Or as Skip likes to say, hard crackers? Oh, hey, by the way, we've been... And Greg, the tunnel take. Howdy, sir. By the way, we've been on for a little over 45 minutes, which makes it just past the halfway point. And... Bowl call. What are you smoking and what are you smoking it in? For those of us not here earlier, this is a Romeo y Julieta. 1875 Churchill. Natural wrapper. Easy smoke. Nice and pleasant. Easy to work with during a live because it stays smoking quite well. But if you really want to talk about who was the greatest of all time but proved it during really, really awesome competition, Team New Zealand Sailing. In fact, In the America's Cup, if I remember correctly, of 23 teams, 18 of them have somebody from New Zealand on their team. Yeah, Scott's got Old Joe Cranston of Calabrese. Briar Report's got his regular favorite of Luxury Navy Flake. Skip's just finished up a bowl of crooner from his no-name poker, what he likes to call his workhorse. Chad, I've never heard of Rick Monday as a blend. I'll have to look that up. Was it in a Cobb? Phil, sailing might come down to the egghead engineers that designed the boats. But the boats are in the America's Cup anyways. Are to an exacting specification of everything. It's got to weigh this much. It's got to do this. It's got to be this kind of a hull. And it tends to be the team with the damn New Zealanders. Freaking Kiwis know how to sail a boat. That's all I'm saying. Steve just loaded a bowl of Carter Hall into his Lorenzo Mini. Jose Golf Piper, howdy sir, great to have you on board. He's smoking some Escudo in his Radice. Jose, are you related to Mike in some way, shape, or form? I'm trying to wonder who in the world else smokes Escudo in a Radice. Some name is coming to mind. Oh, Monday was the LA Dodger that rescued that flag. I see where you're going there. Howdy, Jeff. Great seeing you, sir. Don't worry about lurking. You can lurk all you want to. Ah, so you're not related to Mike, but he has good tobacco taste. People have said that about him. Quite a bit. Quite a bit. He just tends to be a good-natured blonde guy that lives in the great white north of Canada. Ah, okay. Hardcracker's got a mystery cherry blend from Professor Walker in a Rop cherry wood. Very nice. True, I guess it could be called loitering. Smoking Billy Bud in a Country Gentleman for Jeff Ohio Piper. Very nice. Look, if Chad gets the job as the new host of Jeopardy, I swear to God, I am TiVoing the shit out of that because I will be watching all of it. Lord knows he's like an encyclopedia. But I guess the job is not to be smarter than your contestants. It's just to look good while you read off the cards. Okay, Chad could probably pull that off too, as long as they don't make him shave the beard. That's just not going to happen. Uh-oh. Steph got 2 10s of 965 and 1 10 of Escudo. And you got a pound of Crooner. Well, that is a pound of deer tongue. Good luck with that. Wouldn't that be cool, though? Jeopardy with a pipe-smoking host. I mean, come on. They could put a vent hood above him somewhere so that most of the smoke goes out the studio. Just remember, you can't smoke nothing that looks like tobacco in California. Now, if he was to load up a pipe full of weed, they'd probably hire him tomorrow. California's a little strange. Hey, let's recall Newsom so we can re-elect Newsom so that he can now show us some retribution. Y'all remember, guys who are out there, and ladies, the retribution is going to be enacted upon all of you. It will not be just on those of you who voted to out the guy. Gotta remember, not enough of y'all slapped that shit down to begin with, so it's going to have to be getting real in California. Hard crackers, I take it on good authority that Mike has that ability to call up the Canadian Kraken at will. A certain friend of ours named Charlie is one with first-hand knowledge of how rough that can be. Hell, his boat almost sank twice, from what I heard. Is his 14 points pretty close to the 1,000 points of lights that we showed Baghdad back in 91? Scott, you're probably very correct about that. Of course, every once in a while they have an immigration day where they have to be back in Canada or they lose their Canadian citizenship. Damn it. Air Joseph Newsom. Sounds a little bit like Stalin, huh? Steph has 8 minutes to party. Party on, y'all. No, we are not doing shots. Sorry, not doing shots. Janice is not here. No shots unless Janice is here. And I better have 4 warning that Janice is showing up before y'all start holding me to that one. Boris is now smoking H.H. Burley in a 320 Oceano. That is such a beautiful stem on those Oceanos. Chad, I can party at 8 minutes. I can get all of my partying done in 7. What are you kidding? Yeah. Janice is definitely a weirdo. But she's so much fun to party with. Every time she calls into Martin's show, it's like, you know what? Buckle up, it's going to be a ride. Steph, I don't have anything to shoot. I mean, what? You want me to shoot some Gatorade? That's all I got out here with me today. Sorry. It's still a little too warm to be out here shooting. And besides that, as I mentioned before, I am not a medical expert, but I've talked to plenty of them. And because of the ones I've talked to that I trust, I will not be taking the shot. Chad's the party amoeba. Oh, Steph's got to work tomorrow. Don't worry, Steph. I got to work tomorrow, too. Cleaning up this damn yard. Oh, I am not doing Southern Comfort. Mostly because I don't need that much sugar. Janice is with Bunny Applewhite. That's very, very interesting, Chad. That's good to know. Good to know. Yeah, Steph, see, there it is. I know enough people that get the flu shot and still end up with the flu. And I never do. And I never get it. Every once in a while, I'll get the flu. I'll be down for a week. And then I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. You're right, Phil. Pluto did get a bum rap. It's no longer considered a planet. Or is it? Hard to say. I mean, they changed their minds about as fast as a streetwalker changes her underwear. Ron's getting the 3rd shot, but only when his wife tells him to. Bunny, yes, I thought the guy's name was Bunny Applewhite. Snowy-haired gentleman with the crazy eyes. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was Bunny. I'm not really sure that the sun is a planet. But if it's the star of your list, I guess that's okay. Well, Scott, it's just called dribble guards. I know it's a quote. So was mine. Martin might be quoting it later. I wouldn't be surprised. He often enough finds some part of my tailgate and turns it into something fun for his show. Interesting point of view on that one, Steph. Oh, Marshall Applewhite dated a girl named Bonnie. Okay. Maybe I misunderstood it all. All I know is you could take one look at that guy's face and you could know he was messed up in the head. I mean, it's a little easier to see it on him than it was on Mr. Jones. Whacked in the head? Yeah, I can see you saying that he was whacked in the head. He had that look about him that says, I am a freaking nutball and I am out to do stupid shit to you. Why people follow nutballs like that, I have no idea. Has it been 8 minutes? Hell, I don't know, Steph. I'm not watching the time. Not really. Uh-oh. They're talking about feeding kids. Just don't feed them after midnight. I saw it in a movie once. Yeah, Jim had this straight guy look about him. I mean, he didn't look like he was all kind of crazy. I mean, he was all kind of crazy, but he didn't look it. Skip, I'm going to say a lot of them are from this side of the phone. They're pretty constant. And extremely loud. But yeah, Applewhite he looked crazy. Absolutely nutball crazy. Jim Jones looked like Chad said, looked like he could have been a lounge singer. Mike, howdy, sir. Great to have you on board. Hey, we've been thinking about you, sir. Will you be making the drive home in good time today, or will it be as jacked up as it was last week? Inquiring minds want to know, but I'm still here for you, sir. Don't worry about that. Piper on the 45, good to see you too, sir. It is a nice hat. I love this hat. And I decided it's my only summer weight hat that I am not going to wear out while I'm doing yard work and such. I don't want it to get all messed up. As it is, I got some ashes on it earlier and I was a little bit upset with myself. I'll have to sponge it off with a damp sponge later. I want to keep at least one of my summer weight hats nice. By summer weight, I mean it is not as thick as some of my other hats. I've got some that I can really only wear in the winter because my whole head will sweat just putting it on. And well, Houston winter is so mild, it should really only be called fall. But I make good use of those hats at that point. Phil, I believe you are correct. It is hard to call it a tailgate until Mike shows up. This party is for Mike, after all. Chad, that because of your name, yeah. I mean, all of your work, I guess, is yard work. Citizen Tom, howdy sir, great to see you sir. Hopefully you're doing well. Oh, good, you got a shift, you got a night shift nap. That's always a good thing. I'm gonna say this. There's a lot of people that might disagree with me, but very few on here, I'm thinking. I really need to find a way to apologize to naps for being so much of a shit to them when I was so much younger. Now that I'm older, I have found out that naps are awesome. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I remember being a kid and I hated naps. Now I'm an adult and I'm like, oh hell, I could use a nap. Ron, I understand that entirely too well. From my time as a boiler inspector, I would not know that my face looked like I tried to work out some weird camouflage pattern. You got a scratch, you do like that, you get back into your car, you look in the mirror, and you got black streaks and red streaks, and it's all kind of weird. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, my English is atrocious. Welcome to Texas, y'all. You should hear me when I really want to try on that accent, though. Dear Lord. You really start thinking you've just entered the NASCAR zone. I tone it down quite a bit. It's still there. I know it's still there. So, Mike, are you picking up your daughter today? Yeah, but Chad, that's because you grew up in Alabama. yeah, Phil, don't worry. Even better if I'm doing a black liquor boiler. Woo! Those are always so much fun. Or carbon black. Now, carbon black, whoo! That's the absolute best. You go in looking whiter than Mike, come out looking like you are full-blooded Nigerian. They could claim you're wearing blackface all you want. Trust me, carbon black, you're going to be a lot darker than when you went in, even if you're a black guy. Oh yeah. As far as coming out of a drum orange, that happens all the time. Mostly because they start to rust as soon as the air hits them. Alright, Scott, you be careful. Here in about, call it, what, 20 minutes or so? Yeah, about 20 minutes. We're going to be over on, well, we'll be in Canada. Partying with Mike. So, if you're coming back, be prepared that we'll probably be over there. Just remember, it was great having you here. By the way, Skip, congratulations. They won the Two Truths and a Lie GAW. I wanted that clay. No, I don't want it so bad that I'm going to come and find you and get it from you, but that was really the whole reason I entered that GAW. Oh yeah, Ron, the where the carbon paper is, that same purplish stuff. Yeah, that sticky crap. Now imagine a whole tank full of it. You got to go crawling around inside of it. It literally gets on everything and soaks through everything. And any drop of sweat instantly adheres to all of it. And then it just sticks to you. Steph? Skip? Maybe y'all didn't watch. Parsimonious Piper did his GAW draw. You might want to go find that video. I can understand that, Boris. I can definitely understand that. Phil, what am I supposed to tell you? I thought they already knew. Not my fault. Here I was congratulating them live on something that I was pretty sure they had watched already. Well, as nasty as my live streams tend to get, they should probably have a vaccine for it. YouTube's tried. They said, you keep spreading misinformation on medical research. Really? Did I? I want to know where it was. I've asked them to give me more information of what it was specifically that I said, but they won't do that. Ron, it's not blue, it's black. But yeah, a carbon black boiler, there's nothing like it anywhere. It is the shower that you take afterwards as you see a black slime basically dripping off of you. And then the next one, and then the one after that. Just remember, if you ever crawl into a carbon black boiler, don't smile. Mike, I'm with you. I'm not contagious. I'm infectious. People that like to sit around and have a good time, they get infected by it. And then they just can't stop for some reason. Oh, hey, did anybody watch the Nashville Mafia yesterday? I know I was there. When Willie went off about how people are now getting into that point where they get offended about everything. Now, I just keep saying, look, people who set off to get offended when they show up to my show, good chances are I'm going to get them there. Oh, Cane Rod's doing some trivia on Friday. That should be fun. I can't type fast enough to win. I know the answers most of the time. I just can't win. I'm not worried about it. I don't play to win. I just play to play. Mike, that is definitely true. Being offended is a choice. Everybody has that option. I'm not going to tell you to not get offended. But the most sure way to make sure that you're never offended is to remember that to be offended, you have to allow somebody else's opinion to be greater than what you consider your own opinion. Have a good dinner, Ron. We hope to see you back on Mike's channel here in just a little while. Oh, come on, Phil. I think you get offended when I don't make snide comments about pumpkin spice. hey, sauerkraut and mustard is good on a hot dog. And really good on brats. Oh, yeah. Some nice bratwurst on a bun, mustard, sauerkraut, a little bit of red onion, maybe a little dill relish. Oh, yeah, I'm right there. Come on, Phil, I know a lot of stuff. I mean, as long as it's not YouTube claiming that I'm spreading misinformation. I actually know a lot of stuff. True that, Steve. Very true. I don't know why anybody would want to get offended. I mean, you have to want to. Otherwise, all you got to do is say something smart aleck back and be like, yeah, well, there you go. You're just saying that because of the methane that's involved later on that evening. I see how you are, Mike. Just remember, that means vegetarians are far more susceptible to creating global warming than those of us who eat meat. Go ahead, you can figure that one out. I'll give you time. Oh, goodness gracious. So in case y'all are wondering why I came on a half hour earlier, it's because the Breyer Report decided he was going to start requesting me going on a half hour earlier, and I accepted. I figure if it's for Phil, why not? Well, anybody who says bacon is bad for you, y'all just remember, pigs will out-eat us and out-reproduce us if we do not eat them first. Well, let's see. We all know that the Krauts made the best U-boats. So therefore, Phil probably has a good understanding of why sauerkraut was so often used. Wait, you're wondering why I'm solo again? Here, I'll sit up a little more straight. Cowboys ate beans because they weren't allowed to kill the beef they were driving in. Though normally one or two critter would die and they'd eat that one anyways. But pinto beans and cornbread with a slice of onion and some square bread with a slab of butter on it, I'm ready to eat. Grew up with stuff like that. That was a good meal back in the day. Oh, my beard is coming back with vigor. Yeah. Here it is 3 weeks later. That's all that's grown in 3 weeks. Oh, and for those who said 151 puts hair on your chest, I'm living proof that that's a lie. I drank a crap ton of that stuff on my way through the military, and I can guarantee you I still do not have a damn hair on my chest. I wish, sort of, kinda. Oh, it's not as patchy. Yeah, well, sometimes you just gotta shave it all off and start it all over. Oh yeah, home fried taters? Ooh, now we're talking. Now we're talking. That for me would be a meal made right out of heaven. But like I said, I grew up with that. So, Mike, you got around 4 minutes, just keeping you aware. Howdy, Patrick Grant. Great to see you, sir. I will be keeping an eye from right now until Mike goes live, and then I'll be shutting it down pretty quickly. Y'all know how we do. Luckily, I found out that the Churchill from Romeo and Julieta, the 1875, makes for a decent hour-and-a-half smoke. Howdy, James Stumbo. Great to see you, sir. By the way, I'm looking forward to it. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Anybody who hadn't been tuning in to James Stumbo on a Tuesday, y'all been missing out. I will say that he had a word that he put up on his screen that looked like butt sex and herpes and a few other things. And if y'all didn't see it, I'm not going to give it away, but it was way over the top awesome. I had so much fun on Tuesday. Now that it's not quite as hot, I can hang out with y'all a little bit easier. Yes, the end of July through August and through some parts of September are rather warm here in Houston. And it does get a little bit uncomfortable. So yeah, that does curb how many times I can hang out with y'all in that time period. I almost made it to the end without getting gross. Phil, it's not my fault. There literally was some letters that looked like it would spell butt sex. But the same letters also spell subtext. And the word of the day was subtext. By the way, Mike just went live, so we're about to go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much for being here. It has been my pleasure to have you here. I am always happy that y'all have taken the time to be here with me. As always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Let's do the best we can on that. We do such a marvelous job anyways, it goes without saying. But it's a good little reminder. And as per always, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care, and I'll see you on Mike's channel here in just a second. Talk to y'all real soon. Bye for now.
Chad, Daniel, Tony, Scott, Jeff, welcome in.